Welcome to the Fermented Homestead. Today we are preserving eggs 8 different ways. I'm going to split this up into 3 separate videos. One of them is going to be more like heat jalapeno sriracha's type of eggs. One is going to be beet eggs, and then one is going to be beet eggs. And then one is going to be just regular like fermented versus pickled eggs. The second video in this 3-part series of preserving eggs is going to be all beet recipes. So one of the recipes we're going to use is with canned beets. Another recipe that we're going to be using is with beet kvass. And the last one is just going to be with fermenting just raw beets. So let's get started. So the next recipe we're going to do is with beet kvass. This beet kvass has been in my garage for 8 months, so it should be pretty ripe. So I want to make sure that we don't kill the bacteria in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some fresh beets in the jar with it. I don't know if it is going to make a difference, but we will find out. All right, so we're just going to take this jar here. And I very lightly washed these beets. I didn't peel them or anything because we want the bacteria that is in them. So we're just going to do that. Make sure we're picking some nice eggs. Don't have any cracks or holes. Got 5 of those in there. And they're fermenting, so we're going to put a little bit of extra salt in there just to make sure. Alright, let's see how this opens. I'm kind of nervous. It's been in there for so long. And you can't even push the button on it. Oh, it's going. It is carbonated. It smells like beet kvass. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to skim the top just to be safe. There we go. With this, I'm going to go ahead and use my pickle puck just because I have it. You can just use a regular mason jar lid and just make sure that you burp it. There we go. And you don't have to use beet kvass in it. You can use like beet juice and just make sure that you add some kind of like a culture to it, sauerkraut juice again, or you can use some whey or whatever you might have on hand. You can just go ahead and put it in there. And you can see here, it's already starting to gonna obviously go crazy at the top there because it's been sitting in my garage forever. This next one we're going to go ahead and use a recipe, kinda. It's from Genius Kitchen, and it is the Amish pickled egg and beets. And it calls for 1 cup of cider vinegar, 1 cup of beet juice, which I don't have. But I do have the juice from the jar. We'll see if that's good. And then a 1/2 cup of brown sugar and a teaspoon of salt and 6 eggs. This is about a cup. Put that in the pan. And drain off the juice here. Put these in the jar. And half a cup of packed brown sugar. Oops, turn on the burner sometimes. Alright, so it says to gently boil that for 5 minutes. So we're going to go ahead and do that and get started on the next one. Okay, for the next one, I'll put the beets in the jar. And this one's going to be fermenting, so we're going to go ahead and be really careful about which of the eggs we're picking. And 5. And then we're going to add lots of salt to it. Usually when I eat hard-boiled eggs, I like to add a bunch of salt to it anyway, so I'm not super worried about adding too much salt to this, as I might be with other kind of ferments. So the starter culture that we're going to use to inoculate this one batch is, it's like a carrot ginger. Let's go with 4 tablespoons. That should be good. This is really, really, really strong. It's very, very gingery, so hopefully it'll be a good result. So with this, all we're gonna do is just add water. So we get that in there. We're just gonna cover it up with a pickle pipe and set this on the counter for, we're gonna start checking it in about 3 days. Alright, so and then in this jar we have the already canned beets. And this one is going to be in the refrigerator, so I'm not going to be quite as careful with my egg selection. We got 5 there. Oh, I forgot to add the salt to this. Okay. So the brine for this one is done. Hopefully we made enough here. Yay! Okay, this one's all done. And again, with this one, we're just gonna leave it on the counter overnight. And then in the morning, we're gonna go ahead and put it in the fridge, and we're gonna leave it be for about 3 to 5 days and start kind of sniffing around at that point. It's been 6 days since we left the eggs to pickle and ferment, and now we're going to go ahead and check on these again. And this one is the pickle beet one. Yeah. And still, this one has kind of a brown color to it. But it's a pretty purple on the inside now. The flavor definitely came out in it. Now it has kind of a bit of a stronger beet flavor than it had 3 days ago. And a bit, the vinegar's kind of a bit milder, like it's kind of settled in a bit, I guess you could say. So that one's really good. I think that one's done. And this one is the fresh beet. Nothing weird on top. So let's find an egg. Ooh. That one really got deep and dark. I hope that comes through on the camera. That is beautiful. Ooh, wow. And it penetrated through the yolk. See if I can get that to focus. There we go. All right. That is so good. I don't even know how to describe that. Shoot. You penetrated almost all the way through the yolk. That is so unique. I've never tasted anything like that. It's just like beets and fermented beets. I don't know if you've ever had kvass. It kind of tastes like that. Naturally fermented, not without the added whey or anything like that in it. It kind of tastes like that, but just different. My goodness, that is delicious. Okay. Now this one is the one that I made with the kvass in the beginning. And maybe I can open it. This one looks like it has probably met its match. Got some funky growth on it. It's it doesn't smell putrid or anything, and it looks kind of like just the calm yeast that was on top had. Or actually, that's just calm yeast. Let me get a spoon. I think the green. Yeah, it's just calm yeast. Okay, it just looked green. See, it's just the calm yeast. So it just looks green because of the liquid inside. Okay, I'm comfortable with that. Let's get all this yeast off the top. Give it a taste. You don't have to get the yeast off the top. As far as I'm aware, there's nothing harmful about it. But it's not very appetizing, so I usually take it off. And it'll settle in the jar. Usually, like, you can kind of, I don't think it'll come through on camera, but there's a bit of like a sediment at the bottom, and that's the calm yeast, and it's not anything you need to worry about. It's totally normal. It's just not something I strive to consume. Now we've fished for the egg in here. Go, and this one actually lightened in color. I think last time, if I recall, this one was darker. This one was darker than this one. I'll have to rewatch the footage, I can't remember. All right. And I smelled it. It just smells like beet kvass. I'm not at all worried about that yeast. And you can see it didn't penetrate as much into the yolk. So, let's try this one. Still tastes like kvass. Not as much actually as this other one though. I would say probably this one would be my favorite with the fresh beets in there. Maybe just because it's a fresher taste maybe. I'm not too sure. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I'm gonna put all these back into the refrigerator and just gonna kind of eat them. And probably just make maybe some egg salad out of them, or deviled eggs probably is going to be what I'm going to do with these. And it'll just give it a nice, unique flavor to it. And You could do just about anything you would do with hard-boiled eggs. I'll probably eat some of them, put some hot sauce on them, or and some salt, or just whatever I feel like doing. So thank you for watching this, and I hope that you will check out the other videos in this series. One of them is just pickling, and the other one is with more heat to it. So I hope you check out those videos, and thank you for watching this one. We'll see you in the next one.